Fellas, time for morning skate. You know the drill. Favorite DFS plays on tonight's slate. So which skater are you going to be paying up for tonight?
All right. Well, unfortunately, as much as you guys know I hate doing it, I got to agree with Paul here. I'm going to go all the way up and pay for Austin Matthews tonight. Mikko Koskinen and the Edmonton Oilers are really struggling right now. Matthews, for his part, 4 multi-point games in his last 6 outings, and the Oilers just can't keep pucks out of the net right now. I think it's a good opportunity to really go to the top of the price range. But really, as Paul kind of said, I think anybody on Toronto is probably in play tonight.
All right, Pete, you rolling with someone on Toronto here?
Well, I definitely agree with what AJ said because I would roster Andre Kasha from the Maple Leafs. He's playing well, 4-game point streak with Austin Matthews, who you mentioned. So definitely a good play there. But I'm going with a guy from the first game that Paul mentioned, Bruins, Vegas Golden Knights. The Golden Knights might have the hottest line in the league right now with Stone, Pacioretty, and Chandler Stevenson. And I was shocked to see Mark Stone's price still $5,400 in DraftKings for this evening. He's on an 8-game point streak with 13 points in the span. His line mate Pacioretty is tied for the NHL lead in scoring this month with 12 points in 6 games. And you just look at big picture for Vegas, they haven't even gotten Jack Eichel back. And this offense is really ramping up lately. At least 3 goals in 7 of their past 8, including 5+ goals in 5 different games during that same 8-game span. So this offense is definitely worth tapping into. And there's no better price on the entire slate, in my opinion, than Mark Stone at $5,400.
All right, we got to talk value now. So, AJ, we know who you're paying up for, but where can we find some value on this slate?
I mean, you have to look at Zach Kassian tonight for Edmonton. You know, I know Paul mentioned that the Oilers' offense has struggled a little bit, but you're talking about a guy that's coming in at $2,500, and he's going to be on the first line with McDavid and Draisaitl. Like that, you fall into an assist at that point. Literally, just toss the puck to one of them, let the 2 of them figure out the rest of the way, and you've got your points there. So at $2,500 to get a first liner playing with those guys, you have to take it tonight.
All right, Pete, where can you find value on the slate?
I'm looking at Ivan Barbashev. I've been really impressed by how the St. Louis Blues, with an absolutely ravaged lineup between injuries and a couple of guys on COVID protocol, but really injuries right now. Perron's on IR, Robert Thomas is on IR, Braden Shen and Jordan Kyrou are both injured as well as of the past few games. But Ivan Barbashev is in a nice spot, second line center with Vladimir Tarasenko and Pavel Buchnevich, who is really blowing up lately on the score sheet. Barbashev himself, 9 points in his past 9 games, playing mostly in that spot as of late, and he will certainly be in the top 6 for this upcoming game. He can switch positions on the fly. He's one of the most versatile players on the Blues, and he's really in a good spot here against the Dallas Stars, who have dropped 3 straight games, outscored 11-5 in the span. I know Jake Ottinger is getting the call. It seems like for Dallas, he's a good goalie, but I just like that next man up mentality for the St. Louis Blues. And I like, whether or not they win the game, I like Barbashev to return value. He's having a career year.
All right, Paul, where are you looking for value?
Well, I like AJ's play. He's using my sidekick theory to find Zach Kassian. How about Andre Burakovsky looking like an outstanding value play for only $4,000 against the visiting Rangers, largely because he'll take Landeskog's place on the top line in hockey, for my opinion, with the Avalanche. He has 6 goals and 1 helper in his last 10 games, along with 26 shots on goal. He'll pad those totals tonight. And the Canucks are responding to their new coach big time, and Connor Garland is one of those guys who brings energy every night, so he's got to be very happy with the situation that he's in, playing the top 6 minutes. He's got 7 points in his last 10 games played, and now working alongside the Canucks' most skilled forward in Elias Pettersson, who looks like he's ready to take off. This should be a great matchup against the Blue Jacks for only $4,100 on his price tag.
All right, which team are you just straight up confident is going to win their game tonight, Pete?
I'm going to echo the sentiments that Paul just said about the Vancouver Canucks. This team's 4-0-0 since Bruce Boudreau took over. They have a nice matchup at home against the Blue Jackets. Blue Jackets are one of the best home teams in the league, but on the road, they've been a little suspect, especially if Elvis Merzlikins gets the call. He's given up a couple of big goal performances for his opposition on the road this season. So yeah, I'm definitely riding the hot hand with Vancouver. The homestand continues. I think the success will continue. I like how their penalty kill has improved. It was 65% worst in the league. Now it's 80% in the 4 games since Boudreau took over. And they have 3 strong lines with Miller on one at center and Pettersson on the other and Bo Horvat on the 3rd line. So it's just a ridiculous lineup. And I think we're starting to see things correct themselves. So I definitely like the Canucks to take care of business here and continue their climb in the standings. They got a lot of ground to make up, but this is the time to do it here with Bruce at the helm.
All right, Paul, which team do you have a lot of confidence in?
I feel good about a couple of teams outside of Maple Leafs tonight. I like the Bruins at home this evening as they're at the top of their signature defensive game against the Knights, who have been struggling on the defensive side of the puck of late. That's a situation where the Bruins feast, and at home they won't blow it. And I think they should be a much bigger favorite than the minus 130 on the current money line. It also looks like the Islanders are back at full strength finally and are starting to find their groove lately a little bit. And that should be more than enough for them to get past the Detroit club that's heading in the other direction with 3 lopsided losses. They have allowed a total of 18 goals against in that stretch. The Islanders look like a sound bet at minus 115 on the road here.
All right, AJ, where are you going?
Well, hey, guys, I appreciate you leaving the Penguins for me because, of course, that's the team I'm going to be most confident in tonight. I mean, to be fair, I'm most confident in them most nights. But with Jari between the pipes, he's given up 2 or fewer goals in 8 of his last 9 appearances. That includes a trio of shutouts there over that stretch. You combine that with the fact that the Habs are just bad, having dropped 8 of their last 9. Now, of course, that one win did come against the Penguins, so a little bit concerned there. But I have no doubts about the guys in black and gold tonight, even without Jake Guentzel, Brian Rust, or Evgeny Malkin.
All right, finally, which game do you like to be high scoring, Paul?
You know, 2 high octane offenses match up tonight with the Hurricanes visiting Minnesota. They both have solid defenses too, but I trust the skill players this evening on both clubs to do enough damage to go over the 5.5 game total here. And you might think that the high-end skill guys on both teams will be primed to outgun one another in Edmonton with the Leafs in town. This game features the 2 best power plays in the league too. All that said, I think I trust the Leafs structure on defense and mention that the Oilers are really struggling offensively of late. So I'll take the under of 6.5 tonight.
All right, AJ, which game do you like to be high scoring?
Well, I have no idea what Paul is talking about when he says defensive structure. When you consider the Leafs have allowed 14 goals in their last 4 outings, that's not exactly defensive structure to me, buddy. So for me, I think Leafs Edmonton could be the biggest scorer of the night. You talked about all the stars on offense, teams that are allowing a lot of goals. Like, this easily could be the highest scoring game on the night.
All right, Pete, take us home.
Yeah, I'm going with the Avalanche and the New York Rangers here. I mean, they played each other last week. They combined for 10 goals in the 7-3 win for the Avalanche. The Avalanche can hit the over on any given night, especially the way they're playing by themselves. So, and I like what the Rangers have, of course, with their star-studded offense with Panarin, Zibanejad, and Adam Fox. Don't be surprised to see them score a bunch of goals even in defeat. The Avalanche head and shoulders above the rest of the league in goals per game with 4.32. Nobody else has higher than, I think, 3.7. That's the Florida Panthers. So really creating some separation here. And then the Rangers power plays even better than the Avs. Rangers are 7th, Avs are 8th. And the way that Colorado's secondary scoring is performing, like, one of the guys mentioned that Landeskog is out for 2 weeks. And Kadri's been out the past few games. It hasn't even mattered. Guys like Newhook and Eric Johnson and Val Nichushkin, Logan O'Connor, JT Compher came back the other day and scored a goal. I could keep talking about the Avs offense all day because that's how deep they are. So I'm very confident that this would be one of the highest scoring games of the night.